Hey, what is up you guys? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Becca, this is Cosplay.and.books, the channel where I talk about books and then cosplay from the ones that I like the most. And today we are doing my September TBR. So, if you don't know, I do a little thing on this channel where I like to roll dice and then pick prompts out of a jar. You'll understand how to, I'm sure you understand how it works. I roll a d12. I didn't grab the dice before I started filming, but it's fine. I grab a d12, I roll it, and what I roll is how many prompts I pick from my TBR jar. And then if I didn't finish my TBR from the month prior, then I roll a d6, and then I pick that many prompts out of my punishment jar. So, before we get into the stuff about September, I'm going to get into my August TBR and tell you what I read and what I didn't read. Spoiler alert, I failed miserably. Not miserably, I actually read a decent amount. But, let's go into this. So, first off, I had a book by an author that you love. I picked Foxglove by Adeline Grace. I'm currently halfway through it. I'm gonna finish it before August ends. I definitely will. I'm gonna try to finish it like tonight-ish, because I still have another book to read for the Amazing Readathon. A lot of stuff to do. But I will read that one before the month ends. The second prompt I got was a title that begins with the letter R. I read Roman and Jewel by Dana L. Davis, and I did read that one. The third one was a retelling. I originally picked A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I didn't read that, but I did read a retelling, which was I did a reread of Heartless by Marissa Meyer, because that's my favorite book. The fourth one was the next book in an already started series. I picked Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, which I did read. Finally, it's been on like 4 TBRs by now, and I finally read it. The next one was The Most Recent Book You Bought. I picked Threads That Bind. Didn't read that, and I don't really plan to yet. And then I had the punishment prompts that I had, which was any book on your physical TBR. I'm going to read Ace of Shades, didn't get to it. Mushrooms on the Cover, I picked Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I'm really hoping to get to it because it fits for the last prompt in the Amazing Readathon, so I'm hoping that I can read it, but I don't know. I'm like 20 pages in, and I'm not really enjoying it all that much. Number 3 was A Clock on the Cover. I picked Midnight Strikes, didn't read it. A D20 pick was Toilet Bound Hanako-kun Volume 8. I did read that. And friend pick was Girl Forgotten by April Henry. I did not read that. I failed miserably. Anyway, now we're going to get on to all of the September stuff. So first off, I'm doing 4 different readathons this month. Why? I don't know. That was just my decision because I thought that would be the smart idea. But I'm doing Battleathon hosted by Melanor Reads. I am the Team Black Dragons, my little guy here. If you don't know who this is Jest. I got him from the Ren Fair when I went in May. He's a little dragon puppet. Isn't he adorable? I just wanted to show him off. And yes, I did name him Jest after the character in Heartless. I have a problem. Anyway. But yeah, I'm doing Battleathon. I am doing Seasonathon Academy. I will put all of the links to like the announcement videos of all of these readathons down in the description if you want to go check them out and maybe do them. Then I'm doing Adventureathon Part 2 by K-Beth Bookish, which my favorite readathon, or one of my favorite readathons that I've done so far. And I will have a separate TBR for that one. I might do a separate one for Seasonathon as well, because it's a lot of prompts. So, and then the last one is Sufferathon by Pages with Paige, which is like a hotel kind of thing where you get a different prompt every week and you don't know what those prompts are going to be until you get them. And so that's scary. But we are going to get into our picks for September.
Okay, so the first thing that we are doing is rolling our dice. So I start with the D12, which got a 2, and then I go with the D6, which got a 5. And now we are pulling out our first prompt of the day, which is a punishment prompt because this is required to go first. And it is the worst. ever, and you can see my immediate regret of this entire thing, and it is pick 2 books for every prompt.
So the first thing that I would like to say really quickly is the fact that I got the worst possible thing that I could have gotten out of a punishment jar, which was I have to pick 2 books for every single prompt I pick. I hate this prompt so much. It's not even a prompt, I hate this punishment. Because if you don't know, in my punishment jar, it's both hard prompts to do and also stuff like pick another thing out of the jar, read 2 books for each prompt. So I have to pick 2 books for each prompt. Yay!
And now we are pulling our actual first book prompt, which is from the normal jar, because we have to do 2 of those first, and it is an audiobook.
So the first prompt that I got was audiobook. I don't love audiobooks all that much, but I did find 2 audiobooks for books that I already want to read on Scribd, and I'm going to sort of immersion read them because I feel like that will make me get them done easily. So I do have the actual physical books here, so we're going to talk about them. The first one is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. This is like a murder mystery sort of thing. A little fun. I don't know. It just seems fun, and I've been wanting to read it since like it came out, so. And the next one that I picked for an audiobook was Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. These are probably subject to change if I don't end up liking the audiobook. I might pick something else, because I'm not really an audiobook person. It has to be very specific. But I do need to get to this book, so I decided to pick it. So yeah, those are my audiobook choices.
And the next pull from the jar is, waiting for me to pick it out, it is a readathon book.
For the next prompt, I am so glad I picked this one because it fits so well, because it is a readathon book. So this is any book that will fit into a readathon, and me doing 4 readathons this month fits so perfectly. So the first book that I have is A House of Salt and Sorrow, not A House, just House. House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin A. Craig. This is like a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling that's like horror, kind of. It's like a fantasy horror, and it seems really interesting, and I really want to read it, so I'm glad that I'm able to. So yay. The next one that I have for a readathon book is Zara by S.J. Jones. I don't really know much about this, but it seems really fun. It has a cat. Wow. But yeah, it seems really interesting, and I saw it like on, I think, Barnes & Noble's Instagram as like their new release, and it seemed interesting, so I picked it up from the library, and we're gonna see how I like it.
And now we are picking out the first punishment prompt, which is basically just harder prompts, I guess, which is a book with pirates or mermaids.
The next prompt was a book with pirates or mermaids. For some reason, this was the hardest prompt. Well, one of them. The first one that I got was Fable by Adrienne Young. I've been wanting to read this for a while, and I finally picked it up, and it seems fun. I like pirates and mermaids, although the last pirate mermaid book that I read, I didn't like. So that was fun. The next one that I have for that is Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly. This is, I don't really know. I don't know much about this one. I just got it from a thrift store one day, and it looks interesting, and it's about mermaids, so it fits. Who knows? That's probably subject to change. Who knows?
Okay, and now we are picking out our next prompt, shaking the jar up to get some new ones, some fun ones, and we got something I'm very excited for, which is a Yahtzee roll.
Okay, so essentially how this works, if you can't see, I'm going to roll Yahtzee dice, and whatever I get is going to be those prompts. So 2 or more ones, actually ones at all, period, is an odd number of pages. twos is another pull from the jar. I probably will do the normal TBR jar just because I want to. Threes are fits for a readathon. Fours is a blindfolded TBR. Fives is a genre you don't read often. Sixes are a favorite color cover. Three of a Kind is a book you started but never finished. Four of a Kind is a book that scares you. Full House is a new to you author. A small straight is recently hauled. Large straight is an intimidating book. And a Yahtzee is your pick. And Chance is a title that begins with R. So I'm going to roll these. I'm going to get 3 rolls. I'm going to actually do it on here because it'll sound worse, or it'll sound better. So yeah. Okay, so we already off the bat have 3 ones, so let's go with those. Oh, 4 ones. Okay. One last. If we get we didn't get another one. Okay, so we got 3 ones and a 4. We'll probably go with the, we'll go with ones. We'll go odd number of pages because I could have gone either ones or 4 or 3 of a kind. So we'll do odd number of pages. The next one was a Yahtzee roll, and I don't remember the number that it was. I think it was 1s or 2s or something. I don't know. But it was an odd number of pages. So I have the first one, which is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I'm going to be doing a reread. It also fits a prompt for a readathon, so perfect. So this is my first one. And then the other one is The Fear by Natasha Preston. This is like a horror book, I think, a horror thriller. I don't know. A friend of mine recommended it to me and I thought it sounded interesting, so I have it. I also found it for like $3 at in like the bargain area at Books A Million. So we're gonna read it.
And now we are going on to our 4th prompt from the punishment jar, meaning we are almost done. And it is Insect on the Cover.
So I actually lied. This is the hardest prompt, which is insects on the cover. I hate like things on the cover because they're always so hard. I have 2 different books. I only have one of the physical copies with me because I didn't get the second one because my library didn't have it. So I'm either gonna have to find that somewhere else or something, I don't know. But I have Dragonfly by Julia Golding. I did not know this book existed. But I saw it at the library today and it seems interesting. It is about this princess who is forced to marry her like sworn enemy, and then the 2 of them get kidnapped, and so they have to work together to sort of figure out how to get out. So seems interesting, and it has an insect on the cover. And the second one is Unhinged by A.G. Howard. This is the second book in the Splintered series, which is like an Alice in Wonderland retelling kind of thing, and it has a moth on it, so I'm counting it.
And now we are moving on to our 5th and final prompt of the day, and it is a random wheel color cover. That's hard to say.
And the last prompt that I got was a random wheel color cover, which essentially means that I have to spin a color wheel, and then whatever color I get, I have to find a book that has those colors, or that color on it. I was going to go with like 50%, it has to be 50% or more, but that's too hard. So I'm doing just on it.
So here I am doing the first color spin, and I got Deep Purple. And here is the second color spin for the second book, and we got Amber.
So the first one I got was Deep Purple. I ended up going with Rogue Wave. This is the second book, the sequel to Deep Blue, so I'll read both of them in the same month. If I like the first one, we'll see. But yeah, that's that one. And the second color that I got was Amber, which I ended up picking The Hunger Games because this little like bird is Amber. So that is my TBR for September. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment down below what your TBR is, or if you have read any of these books, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!